Hello and welcome! Tonight on the show, we are lean, green, pesto tasting machines with Barilla, Rustic, Basil, and garlic pesto. Boy, we are so excited to have you here today. Thank you for listening. This is Sauce Spoken.
And we're back. We are Sauce Spoken. We're the podcast detailing your favorite sauces, dips, and condiments. My name's Adam, and I'll be your host this week, and I'm joined here by my co-host, Torey.
Hello, good afternoon. We are so happy to have you here today. Of course, this is Sauce Spoken. Thank you. My name is Torey, and to my right, the Sausage King of Chardon, Ohio, our good friend and co-host, Eric.
Having just come back from Chardon, Ohio, it's great to be back here in Pittsburgh and be recording with you two guys. And it's great to have all you listeners tuning in to hear about us talk about sauces as always every week.
Not to be confused with when he has too many dairy products and he's in Chardon in his bathroom.
That's a bit of a stretch there, Adam, but sure.
It's a real pain in the ass, too, because his bedroom is in the third floor and he has to sprint down to the basement to use the bathroom.
Classic Pittsburgh shitter.
Because his upstairs bathroom is still a fucking work in progress, as we may have mentioned on the show a time or two before.
A time or two, yes. My upstairs bathroom is still torn apart.
He got blown apart in the last Chardon incident. All right. Anyways, how was the rest of your week, E? I know that your dad came over to visit to help you work on your bathroom. That you then decided you couldn't work on it then, but that's okay. You made some progress on some other things, but
I made some progress in the bathroom. I did some mudding, remudding of walls and whatnot. I'm getting closer to being ready to paint with some primer.
I know that we were recording on as we've mentioned to listeners before, record a little bit in advance. We're actually recording on a Saturday this week. Normally we record on Thursdays, but we are not welcome over in the Nerd Palace this Thursday because Eric did not want us to record in front of his dad. He hasn't told his dad, number one, he hasn't told his dad that we do a podcast, and number two, he didn't want to hear how we talk to him, how we disrespect his son on the podcast.
Is the old man hip to the podcast group?
He is hip to the podcast. He has listened to the podcast. My sister's listened to the podcast. Even for being called a lot lizard, she is still willing to come on to the show. She confirmed with me just this evening because she's planning a trip out to Pittsburgh this summer.
Nice.
At some point when she can get away from work. So
that's fabulous.
Yeah, she's doing pretty good. She said she's got a new living arrangement. She, lost the boyfriend, lost a couple, 15 pounds as well after that. So she's out doing hikes and canoeing and going inner tubing down rivers, and yeah, she's just having a good old time. She's
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Getting out and about, which is fun. The weather's been, generally nice until this holiday weekend here. We've landed in a bit of a little Arctic wet breeze here.
The holiday weekend is referring to as Memorial Day. We're currently recording the Saturday before Memorial Day.
A little in advance.
As we've mentioned to listeners once or twice before.
A few times.
We record a little bit in advance.
Adam just wants to reaffirm, in case you didn't hear it the first time he said it, he likes to repeat himself.
In case you guys didn't know. Piece of shit.
Torey, how has your week been as we're coming up to this exciting weekend?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see here. I never really have anything outstanding, too exciting to share. I started going to my wife's gymnasium.
Oh.
Yeah. I went yesterday in the evening, had a class with a fella. It was nice. It was a real nice experience. I'm going to go back next Tuesday.
What kind of a class is this?
It was more or less mechanics. It was a full body workout he did with me. I sort of told him, what I want out of it ultimately, in terms of goals, fitness related or otherwise. And so we did it. I'm going to go back next Tuesday. Maybe have another training and then go and do it on my own.
Cool.
Give it a spin. Yeah.
So this won't be a regular personal training thing. This is just to kind of get you started. Is that the idea?
Right. Yeah. I don't have really any experience. I'm not going to try and pretend. So
this is more of a powerlifting gym, right? That's more of its gear.
Yeah. I mean, I really have no desire to be a power lifter in any great degree. And and very frankly, as far as fitness is concerned, I'm getting a little bit morbid here, but I don't want to live forever either. Excuse me, but that's just the fact. So really, at the end of the day, if I can get an extra 2-3 hours out in the yard, or the rototiller doesn't beat the living shit out of me, if that's what I get out of it, then that's a win.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's what I'm, that's the angle I'm coming at it from.
I was just, a few hours ago tossing a not fully inflated football with my nephew, and after about 15 minutes, I was huffing and puffing. I was like, I need a seat.
That's why you need to go on a bike ride with one of your friends to get some cardio, Eric. As we previously mentioned, your bike is functional now, we think.
My bike is, I'm pretty sure, functional.
If you let it sit there for another 10 years without riding it, it's not going to be functional for very long.
That would be sad. No, it's. I'm excited to get out on a bike ride with you, and I actually went
maybe sometime this decade.
I went to I saw a new trail. I guess a trail I've
any trail
heard
is
of.
new to you.
Yeah, really, that's not true. I have seen other trails around Pittsburgh, but what is that northern trail there that runs along the river? That's
the river trail.
It's called the River Trail.
It actually does have a more formal name, but yes, River Trail.
If you say the River Trail, everyone's going to know what you're talking about.
I went in Pittsburgh. That was a beautiful. The little small section that I walked. I instead of riding bikes along it, I thought it was really cool looking.
Yes, so it's very pleasant. You get to see a lot more if you're on a bike.
And I would dingbat. Sometime here in the near future, I would very much like that.
No spying on my notes, E.
Oh, I'm not looking at your notes.
Yes, you are.
I see him eyeballing.
Yeah.
I can see his.
I have to write it in code.
So I keep my eyes under the table so he can't see them.
Oh, E. All right. Yeah. I'm going to write it down in Klingon, backwards, Pig Latin.
So I'm going to introduce a little bit of a, before we get into the sauce here, I'm going to introduce a little bit of a news segment. And I'm going to call this segment Adam's Axe to Grind.
Oh, yes.
Torey almost choked on his beer.
I love it. Fire. Yes.
Here's Adam's Axe. And I've noticed, I'm in stating this segment because I end up on this topic anyways every single episode, so at least now it's formalized. But, no, so... I haven't brought this up in previous episodes because I was kind of waiting to see how things go through. As we mentioned to listeners before, we record a little bit in advance. And a couple weeks ago, we had vowed to submit a written review of the Wishbone jalapeno lime dressing that we tried. And I attempted to submit a review through their website, which for listeners that haven't listened to it, I would highly suggest go back and give it a listen. I think it was a pretty good episode for us.
That was a good one. It's funny.
But ultimately, we gave this dressing a relatively poor rating. We gave it a 2 out of 5. Not terrible, but poor. 4 out of 10 in our rating convention. And on their website, however, Wishbone has 9 reviews, and all of them are 5-star reviews. And we hypothesized that they would not allow someone to post a review lower than a 5 out of 5 on there. And so far, that has been true. They didn't post it. It got rejected. I very diligently went through their posting guidelines to make sure that we weren't in violation when we posted it. For listeners that are interested, the full review is posted in its entirety on our website, not on their website.
I don't know. I'm going to have to back you up, dude.
What do you mean?
I think it was a little risque.
No, it was rude. It wasn't rude. It was
get boned by the sauce.
Yeah, we were bashing them, but it did technically meet their posting guidelines. I reviewed them several times prior to posting.
You also had a grammatical error.
Grammatical error.
What
was my grammatical error?
You had a sentence end period, and then the next word was to or something like that. The start of the next sentence started. There was no space. But I thought it was interesting.
You think they took it down because I didn't have a space?
I don't know. Remember how we
did. They were grammar Nazis, apparently.
Exactly. Yeah, we looked at how everything was well written on their website, so it's kind of funny that,
So
your grammar is 0.
Maybe that's why they.
So, like I said, the review is currently posted on our website. I'm going to give them a little bit. I'm currently in contact with customer service to try to get it posted because I don't believe it violates any of their guidelines, which I also posted on our website for that episode in the show notes. And I'm going to give them a few more days here to rectify this problem. And if not, I'm going to go start blasting them on all looser moderated formats that they sell their sauce on, because I know they sell it through like Walmart and Amazon and a bunch of other food distributors, and they are a little bit nicer, a little bit more open-end with their reviews. So I'll start blasting them on those. But
correct me if we didn't bring this up before, but did we compare say the average Amazon review versus this isn't a Wishbone show, so I'm not trying to get too hung up, but with this batting 1,000, 5 out of 5.
Oh, we did. Yeah. Well, you mean as far as like what the sauce is rated?
Yeah, say like on Amazon.
Oh, that's a good question. I did look at some of the reviews on Amazon just to see what the other ones were like. And some of them were actually posted in duplicate, like the ones that we saw on their website were also posted on Walmart. But it wasn't clear to me that I think Walmart might actually pull reviews from manufacturer websites. So I think that maybe that was partially to that. But I think the Amazon ones were much more like normal seeming reviews. I'll see. We can pull one up here. I know it's not a perfect 5 out of 5, so we can pull one up here and see if we can find it really quick.
Adam's axe to grind. That's a good one.
He has a lot of axes.
I like that, yeah.
That need grinding.
Which one are we picking tonight? Right. Ooh.
So on Amazon, as we can see here, there are currently over 3,000 reviews written, and it does have a 4.6 star rating on there, so it does seem to be pretty favorable overall. So I don't exactly know what's going on with that, but Amazon, I always question their reviews because sometimes all the like you'll see like it'll say super high rated, but then when you actually start scrolling down through some of the reviews, like some of the most recent top ones will be extremely poorly rated, and that is actually the case on here. Is that the top review on there is a 1 out of 5 star, but I think that was for. They're saying old stock. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, so I'm going to assume that's a problem with Amazon, not with the actual Wishbone.
Well, remember, even our one that we tried was not very far out of date.
Kind of nasty. There you go. That's my boy.
Why don't you read that for us there, Torey, if you can see that one okay there, because that seems more... That is a 2 out of 5 stars, so that would be in line with where we rated it.
Yeah. My man, capital S, capital M, capital O, capital Smo.
Smo.
He says it's kind of nasty, and I'm inclined to agree with him. My man says he had some tomatoes and cucumbers, so he cubed them up, the classic move, and put a bit of this dressing on him. Immediately, he tasted something kind of off about it. It was a strange sweet taste. I think that's incredibly accurate, Smo. And it seemed really out of place with the tiny flecks in the feta and the black olives, which, I don't know, you can make that argument.
Yeah, I think so.
He looked on the label. High up on the ingredient list was sugar. No wonder Americans are so obese. Jeez, Smo. He's really putting it on thick in here. Sugar is everywhere, even where it doesn't belong. I wish they'd stop pushing it on us like this. Won't buy it again. Too sweet. Smo does not like that.
So I also just noticed something else here that seems critical about this 2-star here. Apparently Wishbone has one posting for all their flavors, so that review is actually for the Greek vinaigrette. That would explain the feta and the black olives that I didn't remember. Yeah, that was my... So apparently they just must have one like store and all their flavors are listed on there. And I hate when Amazon does that because they'll list multiple things under one header and it's not always clear...
It's not accurate.
...exactly what the reviews are referencing.
Yeah, not at all. That's crazy.
So they have overall, these Wishbone sauces have a 4.6 rating on Amazon. Hard to say specifically the jalapeno lime, but I'm going to go ahead and say probably less than a 5 out of 5. So that's Adam's axe to grind for the week. And we'll keep you guys updated on that as the situation develops. And like I said, I will be perfectly happy to take back all my negative comments if they post our review in full, or even if they tell me what part of our review was offensive to them, and I will attempt to modify it and still keep our original spirit intact. And if they'll post a modified version, I'll put that up with a disclaimer.
These people didn't do a dang thing to you, and you wake up every morning and choose violence.
Well, they did kind of do a thing to me because they shot down my review after I attempted to make it post, the guidelines. It was negative, and it was a little bit, I could see how they would have a problem with
lewd. I would say it was on the lewd side.
It was potentially slightly offensive. The title for the listeners was, "We wish we hadn't gotten boned by this sauce," because it's Wishbone. I thought that was kind of clever, but I could see how they would think, okay, maybe that's too crude.
That's a 1 for 1.
Maybe that's too crude, but that's fine. I would modify the title if they told me to, but I did get in contact with the customer service agent, and I'm still waiting on hearing back from them after the initial follow-up, so I am a little bit annoyed about that because it's been several days, but like I said, we'll move on to that, and we'll start talking about some other stuff here, because I actually have a quick little segment.
Wow.
I also want to do a quick Sauce-Spoken Rewind.
Sauce-Spoken
Rewind.
For listeners, I thought you guys might have some interest in this too. This is something, we're at episode 35 now, which is pretty, we're making some progress there. And I thought the listeners, we do keep a posting on the website of a heat index and a flavor rating as we go along, and we update those periodically. But just because I know that you guys probably don't check our own website on a regular basis, I thought you guys might be kind of interested to hear a little bit of quick statistics about our sauce, because we've mentioned before, we rate sauces on, a 0 to a 10 scale here, and that kind of implies that a 5 would be right in the middle, which we previously said was Heinz ketchup. And so I wanted to let you guys just kind of clue you in here. One of the, I think there was only one sauce that we've ever actually all rated as an average score of a 5, and it was actually the Twisted Ranch Jalapeno Cheddar sauce. You guys remember that one? The Twisted Ranch?
We all rated that a 5.
I know. I don't think we all rated it a 5, but our average worked out to be a 5.
Huh.
I think he rated it highly.
It was out of date, wasn't it?
It was.
It was, and that's why I liked it
so
right, yeah. I just thought that was interesting. I think that was the only one we've actually given a 5 to, and I was thinking, like, man, that seems off. So I did a little bit, because I remember that one being pretty bad.
I kind of remember it being bad, too. Honestly,
Yeah,
It's
right.
been in my fridge, and I haven't mustered the courage to try it again.
Exactly. So that's why I kind of thought, like, man, that was what we put right in the middle of our lineup. So I went and did a little bit more of a deep dive just to kind of do, figure out, hey, is that actually our average? And it's definitely not. As it turns out, our median sauces, which are the ones that are directly in the middle of our ratings, our median is actually closer to a 6.5, which lines up with Rico's, the nacho cheese sauce that we had. And then...
That was framed. Rico's was framed.
Yeah, we were torched by...
Yeah.
That was sabotage. It really should be higher. But Rico's is essentially our median sauce now. And it's closely in line with a couple other ones like the Burger King Zesty sauce and the Sir Kensington Spicy Ketchup are both kind of like on either side of that median range.
Huh.
I thought that was kind of interesting. Those are actually more what I would consider to be kind of like, median sauces for me, I guess. More of our average, I guess.
So, man, I think we all said we liked the Sir Kensington ketchup more than just your average ketchup. I mean, I think that was definitely a well-liked sauce, and it deserves to be slightly higher. I mean, you're trying to say that all the sauces are now like should we drop down to our 5, our baseline? You're just saying that generally
I just think it's interesting.
The numbers.
Because that's one, we have our median, and then our mean, or average, is actually right at a 6.2. So it's not far off from that 6.5. An example of a 6.2 for us would be that Corky's barbecue sauce that we tried, which I actually thought that was pretty damn good. I think one of us didn't like that. Was it Torey?
I think it was me.
But I thought that was interesting. Our median was 6.5, our average was 6.2, and then our mode, which is the most commonly occurring numbers, we had a 6.3 and 6.7, both occurred with equal instances. And some examples of those would be the Berman's barbecue sauce. I believe that was from Aldi's. And the Heinz 57 sauce. So that's kind of like our modal numbers there. So we're all like right in that 6.5. I just thought that was kind of interesting. I looked at it. We don't have nearly as many for the heat index, but I didn't do any kind of statistics on those. But I thought that was kind of interesting.
I think it'd be even more interesting if we got some viewers to send us what their thoughts are on some of these past sauces. I think that'd be really cool.
I can dig that. Yeah.
You want them to send information on their statistical analysis of our sauces?
I want to know if they agree with us. If they heard our show and they went out and got Heinz 57 sauce and said, that's tastier than ketchup.
I send all those emails just to the spam folder because they're all just people that say, I disagree with E. That's all they say. Not me. They say the listeners disagree with you. They say, we don't like him.
Wow.
Kick him out. No, I'm just kidding. They don't say that.
I'm off the show. Gotcha.
Nope. Too bad. You signed with blood.
I'm sticking around.
You're in it for life.
And we record at your house, as we mentioned before. The Nerd Palace in construction. Construction season has begun.
It'll last like any other typical state construction season. Project will get halfway done and last until the next season.
Next year will be fast for you at this point. So you're on that extended
come on,
infrastructure plan. Speaking of things that weren't universally liked, Eric, do you want to go ahead and lead us off with the sauce we're going to be talking about, if that's accurate, I guess?
We are trying tonight Barilla Pesto Rustic Basil, and it has with Italian basil and little lettering below it, just in case you don't realize what they mean by rustic basil. It's got Italian basil in it. Torey, you wanna?
What makes a rustic basil in, say, comparison to a contemporary Or
Good question.
Like what?
Great question. I think the whole rustic basil is
I think it sells better.
just I think it's just like a catchphrase.
Just
yeah,
gidge.
yeah. That's why they clarify it has Italian basil in it, which is a more herb forward. I think American basil is more sweet, if I'm correct.
I don't
totally
know about that.
wrong.
You got me, dog.
I think basil is basil, bro.
Oh no, there's a whole ton.
There are
all
lots of
kinds
different types of basils.
boy.
Lots of different types.
Oh, Eric's in an argumentative mood tonight. Some of this has been off air, but
I thought we were going to see something.
He's
pop
fired
off
up. He's
there.
gnashing his teeth again. So,
Wow.
but yeah, we are trying to branch out a little bit, as we mentioned before to listeners. Try some new stuff, and this is
You
another.
mentioned that before?
I don't know. Maybe I did.
Huh.
So this is another foray into that for us. But go ahead, Torey, lead us off with what we're looking at there visually from the outside.
Of course. Yeah, this is a nice jar. I know E appreciates jars, and so do I. And yeah, this is a really nice jar. It's cylindrical, and what do we got here? 6.5 ounces worth of pesto. It's Barilla. How do you say this?
Barilla, I think.
I was going to say something really, really nasty. I'm glad I stopped. It wasn't nice, but it's Barilla, Barilla pesto. Yeah, I can't tell if this is black or navy blue. Is that navy blue? The lid,
blue, yeah.
And yeah. So and the label is little off-centered, but separated in two: navy blue on top and a dark hunter green at the bottom. Barilla, that red, emblem. Separates those two colors respectively, and there's what I thought originally, my dumbass, I thought that was a mint leaf on there, and with obviously with a clove of garlic, and that's not a mint leaf for those that are dumb like me. That's obviously a leaf of basil. Duh, dummy. Yeah. So I mean that's about it. There's nothing read worthy, no cute little story, nothing like that. We got the nutrition facts, and yeah, there you have it, and a cute little jar.
Yeah, and as far as the inside of the actual sauce itself, do you want to go ahead and give us a little description of that there, Eric, at least the appearance of it?
It's a good thing you're having him do the description, because I would definitely be not nice.
Basil or pesto is not a particularly attractive looking sauce, right?
Yep.
When I was growing up, my dad always called it crunched up or mashed up grasshopper.
Oh,
wow.
Which is a fairly accurate description, I would say. We got some different types of green going on here, from swamp green to like a darker swamp green. It's
it is swampy looking.
It's swampy looking.
It does look like algae, I would say. It looks like a jar of algae is what it looks like to me.
Algae, that would be fitting. You can sort of see some lighter chunks in this, very, very few throughout it, and I guess that would be, as Adam informed us, probably pine nuts. We're guessing. We're guessing. We're not. We haven't. None of us have looked at the ingredients yet.
It could be garlic too. I mean, before the show, you guys kind of asked. I've made pesto before, and I will say that like a fresh pesto, generally the appearance is a little bit nicer than this. Part of the issue with when they do something mass produced like this, to can it, to actually like seal the can, they have to heat it up. And I think that kind of oxidizes the basil a little bit, so you lose a lot of that brightness.
That's true.
If you can just make something to keep it, it tends to be a little bit brighter. Like I've got some stuff that's even been in my fridge, but it's still like a much brighter green.
Yes,
and I think it makes it look more natural. It doesn't.
It does. It still looks like crunched up grasshoppers, even just like a brighter, like a little more. Yeah.
It also doesn't have to be that finely pureed necessarily either. I just think it usually is commercially, but.
Probably. I remember distinctly the first time I tried pesto sauce was on a pizza in San Diego, California? It might have been San Francisco. Somewhere in California.
If you're going to San... Okay, we'll cut that.
I don't even know what it's from. What song?
Put
I don't know
a flower in your hair.
Oh, see? Torey knows.
I'm with you, dog.
If you're going to San Francisco, you're gonna meet... people.
I don't know.
You gotta get hip to the groove, dog.
I do not know this song.
We'll play it later. Yeah. Our terrible vocal renditions are not doing it any justice.
Hey, speak for yourself, dude.
Okay, well mine isn't. But no, you guys asked me before the show started what was in pesto, and I took a little whack at it off the top of my head. Basil, obviously, as we had mentioned, and then garlic, olive oil, pine nuts, and usually some sort of a cheese, like a Parmesan type thing, usually like Grana Padano type cheese. But other than that, I think that's about it. And it's usually just kind of like those things, like pureed in a sauce, and I don't really know. We'll get into the ingredients on here later and what's actually in this particular one. But there was one thing that I noticed in this that I don't typically get from a pesto, and I'm curious just to see if you guys kind of got any of that at all or not.
I probably did. I think I know where you're going with this, but maybe not. Go ahead.
Okay, well, no, so go ahead and lead us off with your initial kind of like tasting notes, Eric. We'll see what you come up with.
Just jump right in. All right, sure.
For the listeners, for the record, we did try this on. I made us some little wheel pasta. I think they have some sort of name, but they're the ones that look like little wagon wheels. I made those for us because they're cute.
They are cute.
Yeah, they were very good, Adam. Delicious.
Eric allowed me to use his microwave under careful supervision and permission from Alexa. That we had to,
yeah, you talk to that computer lady.
And Eric has said, as we mentioned before, he has to ask Alexa, to his waifu, to turn the microwave on for him, but he can't call it a microwave because that's too many syllables, so he has to call it the nuker.
Yeah, so what's this with this microwave thing? The computer lady don't recognize.
I told her I programmed the smart outlet to respond to microwave, and yeah, it had a real hard time understanding me for whatever reason, so I just changed it to something simpler. I could change it to whatever I want. I could change it to blue. Turn on blue. And it would...
You could.
You know.
It'd make him have as much sense of the rest of your fucking smart house setup.
All coded just so only I know what's going on.
Well, it took you 3 tries to turn the microwave on earlier, too, so I don't know about that, bro.
Next time someone breaks in and wants to make popcorn, they'll be so totally screwed, dude.
I'm going to break it and use his electricity for my nefarious deeds.
Like popcorn making, huh?
They'll use all popcorn. That milk carton flavoring you got.
Oh, yeah.
For the popcorn.
The flavor cow. Maybe we'll have that on here. Maybe not. Anyways.
Oh, boy. Just do it. Snooting, fucking sniffing it off a glass, mirror. Flavor cow.
Oh, it's been a long time, brother.
Pass me the flavor cow, bro.
Those days are over.
Be pretty intense for anyone who knows flavor cow.
Oh, yeah.
That'll burn your whole brains probably.
Oh, mama.
That's just what we need is fucking flavor cow. Anyways, go ahead and tell us what this shit tasted like.
All right, I said it had a very basil, herby flavor up front. Definitely noticed some notes of like a creamy kind of cheesiness going on. Added a little bit of coolness to it. Then I hit some pockets of hot garlic that were exploding in my mouth. It was great.
Exploding.
It was so good. And then I put pine nuts ? Lemon ? I said it's sweet but citrusy. I thought it was good. It was very good.
That was what I was getting, was the citrus thing, which I thought that was weird because to me, pesto is generally more savory, I guess. And like I like a little bit, like when I make mine, I'll put some salt in it, just to kick that up a little bit. I don't know if I get this. I don't know if you're supposed to put some sort of like a lemon juice or something in there. I don't think I normally do.
I don't know. We'll have to look up some recipes, some copycat recipes, see what people are saying. Because, I think...
Well, it's not even a copycat. It's just,
right.
One of the base sauces. But, yeah, I don't think it needed it. To me, the citrus was mainly what I got, and I thought it was kind of overpowering. Didn't really care for that as much. It definitely drowned out, I thought, the subtle flavor of, like, the basil. I actually didn't get a lot of the garlic, and I did get some of the pine nut. Although I got like a hard piece or something like that in one bite that I couldn't like chomp through, and I think that maybe that was part of an overly dried pine nut or something they should have discarded. But
wow,
that was mainly what I got from it. You got your typical pesto smell, which is kind of hard to describe, but also a little bit bizarre. Torey, you want to tell us what you thought about it?
Yeah. Oh boy, I wasn't too thrilled when I checked the old Google Calendar and seen pesto on there, because I never met a pesto that I liked. Never. And sadly, this is no different. But regardless, I don't know where yins are getting all these crazy flavor profiles or whatever the hell yins talk about. I got straight up salt.
Really?
I tasted like salt.
Wow.
It was far too salty. It looks like something that came out of an infant's diaper. Yeah, it's not a particularly good thing. Outside of the salt, if I were a blind man, or if I couldn't see, and if I was eating this and I'd be putting it in my mouth, I wouldn't think the color is what it is. Not because it's gross, just because that color, how we joke how Kool-Aid tastes like purple.
Right.
That to me tastes like red.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Tastes like red.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, if my taste buds were directly wired to, oh, here we go. I'm a brain surgeon, by the way, too. If my taste buds were directly wired to my brain and it could, taste and tell, those things and decode, various input signals, that's red. That tastes like red. to me.
I wonder if you are getting some of the acidity and you're thinking like tomato or something. Like you're getting kind of like
I think that's where
yeah, acidity and kind of like the herby notes. Maybe it's reading tomato to you. I don't know.
Say I'd taste herb and I'd taste like the lemony, like citrus flavors. I'd probably think, yellow and green, probably.
I don't know. That is a good question. It's too hard for me to separate my mind at this point. Now, there are other colors of pestos, too. Like, there are, some that are darker green, some that are lighter green, some that are more... This one's pretty homogenized in texture. There's some that's more like a loose, bigger chunk leaf, and there are some that are red, too. But I think, like, this is more of an authentic, like, true pesto.
What's the red component?
I don't know, like pepper or something. You're putting me on the spot. I can't remember.
Well, you're the one that brought it up.
Yeah, this is outside of my knowledge base.
Come on, follow through.
Could be tomato.
Something for me to look up.
Though.
A red pesto.
I do think it is like pepper, though.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's kind of like,
man, that was a softball I lobbed into you. You could have crushed that.
I don't go for those ones, though. That's the thing. Like,
damn.
I was telling you, I make my own pesto sometimes from basil I've grown, but yeah, generally if I'm buying pesto, I probably wouldn't be this particular brand just because this seems a little bit like, I don't know, not bad, but just kind of like plain to me, like
cop outish.
Yeah, like a little bit too washed out flavor wise, I guess. And generally speaking, the first time I actually had pesto, I didn't like it because pesto is a very strong, unique flavor on its own. And it's interesting that you mentioned your dad, Eric. I thought that was interesting that you had it in your house at all, because I don't think that I had ever had pesto. Like I don't think my mom ever made me anything with pesto in it.
We were at a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
In California. Trying it on pizza with extended family, and they're like, "Oh, you got to try this pesto. It's amazing." And my dad was like, "Well, my dad may have tried it before at some point." And he was like, "I don't like pesto, but we got it anyways," because his sister or sister-in-law, I don't forget which aunt was out there with us, but yeah, we got getting a big old pizza of green pesto, and it was I liked it. My mom liked it. My sister was really young at the time. I don't know if she had much, input per se. My older brother, I don't think he cared for it, so it was kind of like a 50-50 in our household, so it really wasn't something my mom kept, or made a lot for us, but it was something that's, cropped up a couple times throughout, my growing up. So when I lived in California is when we tried it, and that was a long time ago, so...
I mean, I do like it, but generally speaking, when I'm going to make something with it, I will try to kind of like, because it is a strong flavor and it can be kind of overpowering, so I like to balance it out with especially something like cream. Like I like to throw you can make, I think, a really good pesto dish with just some straight up pasta and some like heavy cream, and you throw some pesto in there, and that kind of balances out the strong flavors in the pesto a little bit, and I think that's pretty good on its own.
2 questions.
Sure.
First of which,
what's the red pesto?
Yeah, I don't have any axe to grind. Yeah, so maybe next week.
Okay,
is your ass. At any rate, so pine nuts, they are an expensive ingredient, right? They're hard to harvest. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think necessarily. I don't think they're very common. So sometimes I think places overcharge for them, but I don't think they're necessarily expensive on their own.
If I was thinking the harvesting process, and I may have just totally conjured this up, I don't know. But I don't want to say similar to, but sort of on the same vein as like saffron. We're very, very labor intensive.
No, I don't.
You know what I mean? Like, like maybe not quite to that degree.
Right.
But, okay, so that was one of my, and son of a bitch, the other question is gone.
Evaporated.
Yeah.
So your point was, why would they use an expensive ingredient on something like this?
This sucks. Yeah, that's miserable. Yeah, obviously.
I see what you're saying.
So that was the first thought, and I don't know. I'll get back to you on this.
That's a good question. I don't think they're expensive, but
because now again, this could be total fabrication, and if so, you're welcome to have a chuckle.
Right.
My entertainment or your entertainment at my expense. But that I was under the impression that the pine nuts came from the inside of a pine cone.
I don't think so.
Like from a pine tree.
No, I think they're unrelated to pine, actually.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that, too. That's a good question. I actually don't know that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought pine nuts was...
We'll look that up for the nut
they grew from a pine tree.
Oh, no, I don't believe so.
All right, fair enough.
I could be wrong.
Okay, yeah, I have no clue.
I'm pretty sure they don't come from pine cones, but I'm not 100% sure where they come from either. So.
Well, I'm certainly in no position to take a hard stance on it, so I will not do so.
I think it's kind of like one of those things, like they call them pineapples, but they're nowhere related to like a pine tree. And these are not seeds from a pineapple either, but I know to be clear about that. But I think it's something like that with the nomenclature.
So if you were to plant a pine nut, what plant would you get?
Pine nut tree. I don't know.
All right.
I have no idea. We'll look it up and put it in the show notes.
Very
I
well.
don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just.
No,
Yeah, I
that's a
mean,
good
that was
question.
just my.
I think I have looked that up before, but for whatever reason, my brain elasticity has gone off.
Oh
So.
boy, I know that story.
Yeah.
And I know recently, back on the topic of just pesto in general, I have really been eating a lot of quinoa pesto,
Oh.
which is an
Oh, yeah.
Aldi's product. They
All
have
right.
these little meal kits, and they have like a little pre-cooked cup of quinoa, and then a little packet that sits on top of it of pesto, and you just pour that in, mix it up, and it is fantastic.
Yeah.
That sounds
If you
good.
like pesto, it's really, really good.
Keeping it regular.
Of course.
Good.
Well, we touched on this quite a bit earlier. Do you want to go ahead, Eric, and lead us off with the ingredients?
Yeah, I'm really
Please.
curious, so let's dive
See
in
how
here.
close I was.
What? The first, second, and third ingredient is salt. No, it's not.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Womp womp. I didn't think it was that salty.
I didn't think it was that salty either.
Used Pampers.
Salt
Oh,
is a
jeez.
flavor.
It is basil,
Okay.
sunflower oil,
Okay.
spinach. Huh. Real
Really?
expecting that one.
I wonder if they're just buffing out the color with that. Like maybe the
Probably.
basil, because basil does get brown.
Yeah.
I
You're
wonder if
talking
they're-
like an apple, like how it gets weird.
Yeah, it oxidizes, and I think maybe when they in the canning process, maybe they're using the spinach to keep it more green colored.
Let's see. We also have garlic, grana
That's the cheese.
padano cheese.
Grana
Yeah.
Padano.
Grana padano.
Come on, E. Thought you were a foodie.
Yeah. I don't know
Bippity-boppity-boop.
cheeses, and I don't know Spanish. I'm
It's
imagining
like a
Spanish.
Parmesan
All right.
It's Spanish.
or a Farmer John if you prefer.
You think pesto is Spanish?
It's Italian.
Okay.
It's right next to Spain. It's close enough.
Yeah.
Bippity-boppity-boop.
Then it has salt, then cashews.
Cashews.
Wow. Oh, yeah, that's yeah.
So no pine nuts.
Potato flakes.
They're too
Potato
expensive. They're
flakes.
too expensive. The pine
Yeah,
nuts.
maybe. Word you can't read, Eric.
Yeah. Pecorino.
Pecorino.
Pepper.
That's also
No,
a cheese,
it's
right?
not it's a type of cheese. Yeah, Romano cheese. There's another word in front of it there.
Yeah, Pecorino Romano.
Okay. Should have had Adam do
Fucking
this one.
dingbat.
He is Italian after all.
That's right.
Lactic acid, yeast, extract, natural flavor, basil flavor. All right.
So no pine nut in this.
No pine nut.
Cashew.
Cashews contains milk, eggs, cashews, and may contain trace
Huh.
of other tree nuts.
Pine tree nuts.
Ho. TG might be onto something over here.
Interesting.
Once you guys shit a brick.
Ooh, we're looking at pine nuts now. How exciting. All right. Torey is the genius here.
Yeah, so we did
And it
actually.
literally does come from the cone.
Hell yeah, dog.
Yeah, we had to take a little break here for a second because Eric spilled some pesto on his table, his precious table. So I did actually look up what the pine nuts are, and they are actually from pine trees.
Ha ha.
Torey was right.
And not
The
only from
blind
pine
squirrel.
trees, but they come from pine
From pine
cones.
cones.
That's right. Call your boy to blur up the blind squirrel who just found one.
Yeah, apparently there's a very limited number. 20. It says 20 species of pine produce seeds large enough to be worth harvesting.
They can come by and harvest them out of my backyard any damn day they wish. I hate them.
Well,
I
that-
get caught up in my lawnmower. I want to toss every single one of them up.
See, there are different, like I said, there are different types. Like the ones I've pulled seeds out of pine cones before, and they do have kind of like weird. Some of them are definitely not edible. You know, like some of them are
Dude.
definitely not something you would eat.
You tried it? You gave it a spin?
No, just they have kind of like a weird like thing, like encapsulation on them.
Yeah, I chop them up with the mower and cuss
And
about
you could be harvesting and making this delicious sauce, Torey.
making all this awesome salt baby diaper.
So that is interesting, but this particular pesto is apparently they subbed out cashews in there. I don't know if that was. I don't know why they decided to make that choice, but
Pine nuts are too expensive,
Pine nuts are
dude.
too expensive to harvest. I bet.
maybe
Torey's
could be
onto
right.
something here.
Yeah,
Could you
could be
imagine?
right.
Because I always pictured cashews, and in terms of the hierarchy of nuts, to be one of the most expensive ones, right?
They are.
Right?
Cashews
Yeah.
are more pricey than when your
Well,
almond or your
A
peanuts.
counterpoint to the expense here. If we go back a page, they're selling them for $4 a bag on Amazon. That is only 2 ounces, but it looks like a decent sized bag. So
2 ounces is 2 ounces, though, right?
yeah, but how many pine nuts do you need?
Shit, I don't know.
Shit, I don't know. So I don't
Apparently,
know.
Barilla didn't think they needed any.
Yeah, but a bag of cashews that's like 2 ounces is going to run you, I would think, probably about the same. And they're pretty fucking expensive
All
too.
right.
you know?
Yeah,
so
that's
this is
true.
high class sauce then, because
I
they
mean,
use the cashews in lieu of pine nuts.
I wouldn't
I think
think
it's
so.
a lower class.
I
I'd
think
say.
they're subbing shit
Yeah.
out. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's kind of what we've talked about before, inauthentic, and that's kind of what I get with the Barilla. It's kind of like the bottom tier, not bad, just very like whitewashed, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
Well, do
you
we
know?
want to look up what goes into regular pesto? Like, I mean, how sure are you that pine nuts are part of it?
Eric's fucking
I've watched enough cooking
spicy.
shows to know that there's pine nuts.
Eric's
in pesto.
calling my
Yeah.
ass out.
I'm pretty sure there are.
Yeah, there are, because I fucking told you there are.
I generally believe this guy. I don't know why.
I'm just happy as a clam. I hit the lotto on pine nuts there earlier.
That was a good call.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes
I didn't research that either, by the way.
makes sense, but oh, I know. I'm certain you
Pine
didn't.
Nuts, garlic, parmesan, and Romano cheese. Yep.
Yeah, so they're saying for fresh basil pesto from Simply Recipes. We're going to scroll through 25 pages of backstory. Okay. We've got 2 cups fresh basil leaves, half a cup of grated Romano or Parmesan, half cup olive oil, 1/3 cup pine nut, 3 cloves garlic, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/8 teaspoon black pepper. Noticeably missing from this are lemon juice and cashews and sunflower oil.
Interesting that they say you can use sub-out chopped walnuts for their pine nuts.
I have heard that too, because I think sometimes, I know, like you were saying, Torey, I don't know that they're necessarily super expensive, but they can be hard to find in grocery stores. I will say that. All
Yeah,
right.
you bring up a good point, Adam. Where do we get that lemon?
I don't know. I'm not sure where that's exactly coming from.
Yeah, I don't know where we're getting that like citrus flavor at all. It doesn't have anything that would make that.
I have no idea. I mean, I generally just assume that that's, I don't know, probably some preservative or something wacky we're tasting like that.
Good chance. Yeah.
Let me just skim it here and see if there's anything that you would have missed.
So does pesto have a, how can I put this? Like a never miss application? Like, is there a chicken nugget to its ranch? You know what I mean?
It is
Tomato.
really good on pizza. Yeah.
I'd say tomato. Especially if you just got like I think if you have something that encapsulates the typical, like, you think of Italian Dago shit, I think if you just think of like some hot bread, I can say that. That's my word. I am one of those
That was
people.
what I was going to throw around earlier, but I decided
okay.
not to.
I'm allowed to say that word. I'm of Italian American heritage.
Wow. You are going to get canceled in a big way.
Came over on a boat. I'm allowed to say it.
Tony Soprano is going to come for you.
We'll bleep it so listeners can't get mad at us. Or maybe we'll leave it.
I mean, I think they can, piece
I'll
it
look it up
together.
on the internet whether that's actually
Our listeners
a bad
are
word or
very
not.
smart people.
But
That's a derogatory term.
what were we talking about before we got into that?
What are you talking about?
You were asking.
Damn it,
me-
rewind it back.
What does it go on?
what is it good
What
on?
is it
Oh,
good
I would
on?
say-
Oh, yeah, the never
Yeah, if
miss.
you think of like just like some bread, hot bread, like you're having a pizza, some fresh cheese, mozzarella, buffalo mozzarella.
Thank you.
And just like a fresh tomato and just a little dollop of that on top of there. I think all those flavors together would be, chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. I love it.
I think that'd be really good. And like I mentioned before, if you throw that in, a pasta, I think if you throw some cream in there, that balances out all that like acidity, and a lot of that's probably the salt you're getting too.
Dude, that idea of throwing milk in with that is just
Cream, to be fair.
so
cream.
grody. That's so
I
gross
think
to me.
I think it's pretty damn good. I think it has very wide appeal
The
too.
thought behind it is disgusting to me.
I'll slink some in sometime.
You've never had a creamy pesto before on like a dish?
I like Alfredos.
I pretty much guarantee you would like a creamy pesto. Another thing that people do a lot of is like chicken.
Yes.
Kind of like a milder flavor.
Well, creamy, or even a creamy pesto on chicken. I've seen it poured over chicken.
Yeah,
How's the
that's
like roasted chicken? Like a
roasted or like pan fried. Yeah, something like that. You could probably even do like a grilled if you were feeling spicy, I guess. I don't know.
would you use this pesto or not? And keep in mind, I'm a pesto novice.
I probably
That's why
wouldn't
I'm asking
get
all these
this
dumb
one.
questions.
I'm struggling to think of the other brands I would normally get. There are some other ones I like a little bit better than this. I think this one would be fine though if you want to make a pasta or something like that and throw something else in there. I think that'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I have like zero experience of cooking with pesto. I've always, just ordered dishes at a restaurant as like a treat. Like, oh, cool, they have a creamy pesto chicken, blah, 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 some Italian something name after it.
I'll be darned.
Like when I go out to like a Bravo or
Bravo.
Buca de Beppo, those
You
those
love
chain
Buca de
stores.
Beppo.
I do love
Yeah,
Buca
because
de
these
Beppo.
guaranteed leftovers. That's like, oh boy,
And their
family
food
style.
is good.
Never been.
You're always
So.
trying to get us out there. Oh, can we go there and you guys can get a meal and I can take the leftovers home? Oh boy.
I'm not going to deny if you guys leave food behind, I'll be happy to take it.
Oh my god.
What did you take the other day? There's something bizarre that I was rolling my eyes about. I don't
The ice
I don't
cream?
remember.
You still got that ice cream from the milkshakes?
Oh, yeah, it's still in the freezer.
Nice, cool.
That was a while ago.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go around to the ratings portion of the show. Eric, why don't you go ahead and lead us off?
Yeah. Go get them.
Okay, so I feel like we're kind of having a deja vu moment here with the Chick-fil-A sauce, which just aired, I think, a couple days ago. Yeah, that was Thursday.
Deja vu with this?
If I have to rate this sauce for what it's meant for, pizza, pasta,
are you going to be
Italian
an asshole
dishes,
and hold me to that? You're going to be like, well, if I have to do this.
I'm not.
I don't understand when did that come into question?
Well, because again, I
made some
in
point
my
about
mind,
it
I think it's
because he was trying to throw fucking Chick-fil-A sauce on a steak.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he's like,
Right.
well, it wouldn't be very good on a steak. And I said, yeah, who the fuck said it would be? And Eric's like, well, if it has to go on chicken nuggets, then I guess it's going to be a 10.
I mean, how would you rate it?
About it?
Would you put pesto, say, like, shit, I don't know, on a bologna sandwich?
Well, no, I think he's trying to say, like,
I don't know.
Oh, well, if I have
like
to make
pesto sauce.
If I have to make pesto chicken, then I guess this pesto is going to be a 10. That's what he's going to fucking say now.
I really like this sauce. I like the flavor of it, and I think, especially when it's good, when it's intended to be used for pasta, pizza, yeah, it nails it out of the park. I mean, no, I don't think I'm going to give it a 10, but I'm going to go high. I'm going to say this is an 8.5 for me.
Wow,
it's flavorful.
Right. Okay.
It's very flavorful. It's very good. I think it's a little weird. They subbed out the pine nuts for cashews,
right?
But I think this isn't too salty in my mind. It's not too, I don't know what other flavors could be overpowering. It's a good mixture. I think they did a decent job. They've canned it and mass produced it and sent it out to people. And I think generally, in my mind, it's tasty, and I think a lot of other people would find it tasty too.
Huh?
Dang.
So.
All right. Well,
did I justify that correctly, Adam? Is that to your satisfaction?
Don't get all indignant.
I never said you had to do. I just said you were asking for some guidelines. I just don't think it's fair. Like, I wouldn't, like, if you said for this, this wouldn't be very good on Mexican food, I would say, yeah, that's not really fair to judge it off of Mexican food because it doesn't make any sense.
But I bet it'd be really good on actually just rice. I already said I'd mix it with quinoa.
Yeah, it would be good on rice.
I mean, Mexican
food's
rice, part of
not
rice.
Not rice and refried beans.
No, not refried beans.
That's what I'm trying to say is that just don't. I'm not saying that you have to only do it on certain things. I'm saying that just don't take it off somewhere off in fucking left field and try to shoehorn it onto something and then say, well, it doesn't work on that.
Right.
I have to give it a 2.
There's a certain framework of.
I'm just saying, be fair to it. That's
right.
all.
And I think I am. I mean, like I said, like bread and pasta.
I think that
pizza,
is fair.
And like I'm trying to think of foods.
I just don't want you to get like some mental block where you're thinking like, oh well, I have to because I can only envision it on certain dishes.
Right. I mean, I guess.
I'm saying,
like
don't be too rigid.
Use some common sense.
Yeah, use some common sense.
And we expect that our listeners are going to have some common sense too. Like, hey, this sauce is really good, but no, I don't go make a peanut butter and jelly and pesto sauce sandwich.
Yeah, obviously fucking not. Jesus Christ, Torey, what's your fucking rating on this?
It's in the trash.
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
All right, you cracked a fresh brew.
Yeah.
You are all prepared. How amazing is this sauce?
Oh, boy. This is really cool. I don't know. I may have mentioned this before, I may not have, but I'm a good German-Irish boy. So, I don't know. I'm not to start another Axis Third World War or anything like that, but I didn't care for it. I didn't care for it at all. Any of those applications that you mentioned, the pizza, the pasta, the bread, boy.
Chicken?
Nah, dude, I can think of a million other things to put on all of those products.
Peanut butter and jelly and pasta.
Dude,
pesto.
Yeah, peanut butter, jelly, pasta, or pesto, pasto, peanut butter. But yeah, dude, I mean, for a pizza, I'd have cheese and mushrooms and maybe some onions, pepperoni. Any day of the week over that. Bread, dude, give me some buttered toast. I mean, there's a million other things that I can put on there that not only are more visually appealing, but taste better in the end result. So, I mean, this is the official rating time.
Yeah, official rating. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Tank it.
Oh, I absolutely, positively will. There's no doubt about it.
Now you know how I feel about, or how this is how you were feeling when I was giving Rika's its flavor rating.
No, you're being an asshole.
Oh no, I was giving it the honest.
You were sucking up to Amy like you always do.
Oh, Amy, please like me.
Wow, I don't think so.
Work wife.
It's a 2. It's a deuce.
Oh,
it's awful.
shit.
It is straight up awful. It looks awful. It tastes bad. It's salt. And yeah, it's at the end of my list for any of those applications that you mentioned. It's downright hideous.
Giving
Bad.
it a 2 because it looks like a 2.
Yep. Perfect.
Ba-boom.
Booyah.
Wow, bold. For me personally, like I mentioned before, this one I think is okay. Barilla I think is fine. I won't turn my nose up at any of their products, but they're not, probably not the first one I would go for if I really want to get like a nice pesto for something. To me, this would be like I said, an ingredient that I'm going to mix something with cream in some pasta. The citrusy weird flavor that we couldn't figure out where it was coming from was throwing me off a little bit. I don't like the substitutions they made that kind of like strays from authenticity. Because, the thing is, whenever I see someone subbing sunflower oil for olive oil or something like that, I'm just like, and this may or may not be true. There might be a valid reason to do that or something like that. But to me, it seems like the intention was some corporate CEO was like, oh man, we can save, 0.003 cents per jar if we switch to sunflower oil because we get this deal with Big Sunflower,
Probably true.
And the result is he's thinking, oh, it won't make any difference to the fucking stupid ass consumers. And I just think that's a little bit insulting, Because to me, it's like, hey, that substitution does essentially kind of matter to me. Even if I can't taste it, it's just I taste the inauthenticity of it. That being said, I didn't mind it too bad, and I have definitely used this before, and I would use it again. I probably wouldn't use it on its own, and it wouldn't be my first choice if I wanted to put it on something like a pizza or even probably a chicken where it's going to be kind of like star of the show. So I do think I'm going to kind of give it a 4.5. I was coming in before with,
Nice.
I was initially thinking a 4, and then I went up to a 5 for a little bit in my mind. And I'm going to come and settle right back in between there. I don't think it's quite worthy of a 5, but it's not bad in my mind.
Below average is definitely where it belongs.
Yeah, I would just say a skosh below average is what I think personally, even as someone that does like pesto. And I think that's fair.
What kind of cockamamie rating did you give it, E?
I give it 8.5.
Like a 9?
8.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you say you have bought this before, you've cooked with it before, so what's an example of a dish that you've made with it?
I know
you turned it into a creamy pesto?
Yeah, no, exactly.
About?
This one in particular, I can tell you, that is kind of my exact thought process. Like, I'm going to buy I think it's, what's the brand? Delalo?
Oh, yeah. They make the olives.
Yeah. I think that it's like Dellalo.
There's an apostrophe in there, too.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I will buy their pesto. I think they make actually some pretty good canned goods. I think their pesto is a step above this. I would use that on more if I want to make like a chicken or a pizza or something like that. This one here, like I said, I would happily throw this in with, a half pint of cream or something like that on some pasta. And I think that would be a fine place for it. Grate some cheese over the top, and that's a quick, easy meal, and it's tasty and filling. So I think it'd be fine for that purpose. But I have a really struggle giving... Whenever I think of something like, man, I buy that sauce and I have to use it with something else to, make it tasty, that's automatically points subtracted for me. So.
Oh, for sure. Right now, the sauce should stand on its own. So.
And I think that this would be fine. Like I said, we had it on pasta today. It's just that I was getting that weird citrus flavor that was really throwing me off, and I didn't find that pleasant with pasta. I think you would cut that with something creamy, like a cream or a cheese or something like that, but or probably even some. I think that would even complement some things, like if you had this in with maybe like, I don't know, maybe some sort of like a shellfish or something,
Ugh.
with pasta.
This just keeps getting worse.
Something to kind of offset that, or something that would go with that more citrusy flavor, or even chicken, I think might be okay with that, but wouldn't be my first choice.
God, no. That wouldn't be.
Or maybe I throw it on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I don't think that would be my 137th choice, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel about it.
I just did. As a matter of fact, I'm taking my score down to a 1. Yeah, that's a 1, dude.
Wow, Torey's fucking fired.
Yeah, pesto sucks. I don't understand the hype.
I'm gonna have to make some actual goods, like buy actual good cheese, get some fucking good, fresh garlic, grow some fucking basil fresh.
I'm sure it's one of those things, you say pesto. There's everything from $1 million pesto to stuff that's probably worse than this, and everything in between.
That's fair. That's very fair. I would say that's probably pretty accurate. And this is definitely towards the lower end of that spectrum. Not bad. Like I said, I think Barilla's fine. There's definitely some, we mentioned before, like the Del Grosso that I tend to avoid.
Del Grosso.
Yeah, it says it all in the name.
I think it'd be interesting to try these different pestos. One again,
you can.
Yeah, we'll do a whole pesto lineup.
Do a whole
next
pesto
week.
lineup. Yeah.
I'm going on vacation here for 4th of July. So
See if Torey actually finds one he likes. I think that would be obviously the goal, but
the ingredients that on their own are all. I mean, I'm down with nuts. I mean, I like cashews more than pine nuts. I like basil. I like garlic. I don't understand why I shouldn't like all that. I don't know. Just the combination of it's weird.
Yeah,
to me.
the substitutions for me, like the idea of there being spinach in here, I'm okay with spinach. Like I would put spinach separately in the pasta.
I think that's one of those things like carrots where you can sneak it in.
Yeah, but like pesto is supposed to be a very like, I don't know. When you say pesto, that should be a specific thing. It's supposed to be one of those like very few sauces, few ingredients. It's not supposed to have fucking spinach snuck into it. It's not supposed to have cashews subbed out, things like that. So that type of thing.
See, I was under the impression that a pesto, and again, way off. I know very little, but a pesto was just a nut, pine nut, cashew, peanut. Just generally speaking, a basil nut oil at its purest form.
I don't know.
We can look at that. I think that you're definitely wrong on that. I mean, like, you were right. You were right earlier, and I was wrong. So.
I know. I'm a fucking idiot.
No, so I'd say that's,
you might be
that's
right on,
possible.
right
I've never heard that before. Yeah, you might be on the ballpoint. We can look into that for the show notes. So we can definitely check that out. But all right. Well, with that being said, I think that's going to do it for us on the Barilla pesto here, and. We're like I said, we're a little bit later than we normally are. We normally record on Thursdays, and it's a Saturday, so you've had a few extra days to think about it, Eric.
But you'd have no idea, listener, that that ever occurred.
Because when we get to Eric's closing thoughts...
It's all an illusion.
What are your closing thoughts, Eric?
Oh, is that you?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's you.
That's what I'm doing.
He's stalling.
He's trying to stall for more time.
No, I actually had something already thought up. I would just like to say, thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We are now in a couple of local. We have signage now in a couple of local bars.
Nice.
We're going to be very soon at Fuel and Fuddle in Pittsburgh. We're also at Crafty Jackalope, and we're going to be at the Lizardville in Stowe. And we're going to keep putting up, some more signage and really get out there, get the word out there, spread the word. Tell your friends if you think we're doing here as a service and of interest to you. We'd be happy to have you guys spread the word for us and help. Word of mouth is always good. So.
And if you want to do a little bit more of word of mouth, if you want to do some word of the eyes, so to speak, and you want to help Eric in being a brand ambassador to us, hit us up and we'll send you a sticker. We've said that before, but we've got them. They're burning a hole in our pocket, and we love to send some out to you. So please hit us up. Yeah, we're running out of space on E's wall to slap all these stickers, and we still got a whole truckload of them. So if you want one, please let us know. E's getting a little upset about it. The room is it's bright now. It's bright. He's plastering his wall with them. He's cover up the holes. Torey, what are your closing thoughts? Boy, I got a good one today. Uh-oh. Yeah. Boy, I got a really, really good one today. Hit the censoring button. Oh, man. Well, allow me just to say, I think I've been a little bit too nice on these final thoughts as of late. Because as we all know, June 1st is right around the bend. All right? And it all ties back in. I know you guys are all giving me the eyeballs, but bear with me. Just curious. What's Allow June me 1st? To remind you guys and everyone listening out here. And again, I'm going to get a little mean with you. Those New Year's resolutions you made 6 months ago. Oh. So we're 6 months in here, dudes. 2021 is 6 months old. I just want to remind everybody who made these grandiose plans to, hey, clock's ticking here, guys. You're 6 months. You're 6 months in. I just want to speak a little about commitment and how important that is. If you thought about something back in January, how exciting that was, and the anticipation of that payoff. And here we are in June. And if you haven't picked it up yet, I'm probably thinking you should. So allow me to be that nagging voice in the back of your head and reminding you that those important things that were important back in the winter, they're probably still important now. You may have conveniently pushed them out of the way, out of sight. But, allow me to be the, hate to say the bearer of bad news, but let me push that back in the forefront for you and get it cracking. Yeah, so get cooking. And as always, we are proud of you. So get it going. We love you. Thank you for listening, and that'll do it. So fix your fucking shit. Brutal. Torey is cracking the whip.
Yeah, I've been a little too nice. I've been a little too understanding. So I think it's about time for me to get real with you out there.
All right, very good.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to January's episode if that was targeted to me.
Yours were the fucking naps and Kickstarters, homeboy.
Exactly.
You're
Hey,
behind on the
everything isn't
Kickstarters.
targeted towards you, dude.
You're way behind on the naps.
It's like Kickstarters,
Your bathroom's
I'm
not
making...
done. Your dad
I'm
just came
making
over for a whole
corrections
week.
for it.
You didn't do anything on your fucking bathroom. That was its sole objective purpose. You pushed off other plans so you could work on the bathroom and then didn't work on it.
No,
I worked on it.
But, we're halfway there. So
Hey, yeah.
we got 6 months left to go.
Cool. All right. Well, what are you smirking for, Eric?
Smirking.
Do you have a rebuttal? Do you want to get back in Torey's
I
face?
am
Call
not.
his ass
Fuck
out or
you.
something?
I never met my New Year's resolution.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. As always, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Oh, bad news is we're at the end of the show here. But hey, the good news is that we have several other episodes that keep you entertained. And while you're at it, send us an email, saucespoken@gmail.com. If you've had enough of listening to us and like to see us, you can do that too. You can stop over on our Instagram page. It's Sauce Spoken Official. If you wish to get down into the nitty-gritty, we welcome you to do so, and you could probably do that on the website. That's going to be saucespoken.wordpress.com. We have some show notes there. We keep track of the various ratings we give them over the episodes there, so if you wish to dig into the details, that's a great place to do it. In the event some unthinkable calamity, your favorite listening provider is not available, you can fire us up on YouTube. And of course, we'll be out here rattling our empty mayonnaise and mustard jars. If you'd like to donate to us, you certainly can. We are at PayPal, at Sauce Spoken. We'll give you a little jingle jangle, maybe a wink and a smile on your way out. Keep in mind, we have stickers available for you. Slap them any which where you like, but they're available to you. If you'd like one, let us know. We'd be happy to send you one. And finally, we have a proprietary cryptocurrency out here. It's what's called Sauce Stoken. We have some details on it on the website. As we close here today, of course, we're going to ask you, please share us with a family member, share us with a friend. Hey, if you're enjoying it, I'm certain they would too. If you could, follow us, give us a rating or a review on that listening platform of your choice. Thank you for listening, and this is Sauce Spoken.
You know what I really wish I'd spoken up, though, about? Was that, well, I put it in the show notes, but that Polynesian sauce.
Oh, yeah. You're really grilling me about that.
I was. And then I looked at the website. The website says, it's a sweet and sour sauce. There says nothing about spice at all.
I don't think I put that in the show notes, because that seemed just like your personal gripe against Torey.
Yeah, you were really getting after me.
Well, no, he was, so then Adam even, sent me after he was editing. He's like, Eric, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm like, how do you not understand what I'm saying? Saying because it's not spicy.
Yeah, because you said...
And if somebody grew up in, a nation that had Nando's sauce...
Well, who in the fuck's thinking about someone who grew up with Nando? Did you grow up with Nando's?
No, but if we have a South African listener...
No, that didn't make any sense to me. And it still doesn't make sense to me. I got what you were saying, but it sounded it sounded like you would confuse General Tso's with peri-peri sauce.
That's what I was saying. He had it confused with peri-peri.
I didn't mention it. I didn't bring it up at all.
He had General Tso's confused with the
what are you on,
whatever
dude?
that is. The Chick-fil-A sauce. I can't think of what it's called.
Dude, as a Korean listener,
Polynesian.
How does it make you feel when Korean listeners listen?
The Polynesian sauce is pretty close to General Tso's, dude.
Yeah. No, not even close.
General Tso's is not that spicy. It's supposed to be, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying some idealized version. I'm talking American Chinese food shit that you get is pretty fucking sweet.
How many times have you been to Johannesburg?
And it has nothing to do with the peri-peri sauce. I don't want to bring that back into it again, because that didn't even make sense. It doesn't have anything to do with one. One does not have anything to do with the other.
Okay.
You should have your fucking E's axe to grind, because you're upset about this.
E's axe to grind.
He was
that was a fun episode. It was a fun episode.
Would I make it feel better if I took it back? If I came out on the show and be like, I wish to publicly apologize to General Tso.
I just think anyone who makes an educated, wants to try these Chick-fil-A sauces, the website's listed. They'll see what they say the sauce is.
General Tso's is pretty fucking sweet, though. If you get General Tso's,
it's different anywhere you go.
Sometimes
you
we're
go
talking about generic
to General
Chinese food
Tso's,
stuff.
and it's actually hot like it's supposed to be hot.
Very, very, very rarely, dude. Even that one what's that fucking place? Sushi Tomo. they put those red chili peppers in there, but the sauce itself is not spicy. Even just those peppers in there. And even the peppers are not that spicy.
You're saying it's because I was eating the peppers because they were chopped up inside there. I don't know. I definitely remember that being pretty
99% of Chinese takeout is not that spicy, and that I don't think was even that spicy. I think, I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I think you legitimately need to try some, like, just generic Chinese takeout General Tso's.
Where are you getting your Chinese food from, man?
I don't think you eat Chinese.
I get them from, I eat Chinese food all the time. I get them from Golden Dragon. I get it from China King Buffet, and I get it from Pong Mei House.
You get General Tso's?
Mm-hmm. I've gotten it from every one of them.
You are right that a lot of places do make it different.
Oh, every one of them.
I've never had it that was spicy. Like, I always, like, I got some on Friday, and I literally went to my cupboard and got the red pepper flake thing and dumped stuff on. And even then, it was, like, medium, you know? And I asked for it extra spicy to begin with.
I'm concerned, E, so how can I make this right?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It really is fine. Because what's interesting is that, you know, Chick-fil-A sauce.
I'm going to gnash my teeth for the next month and a half.
Chick-fil-A sauce and the whole brand name Chick-fil-A, you know, it's like any fast food restaurant, right? You know, it's all about consistency. And they make their sauce, you know, to a very specific recipe that is mass produced and sent all over the country, and it's not supposed to be spicy, and someone says it is spicy, and
I don't think
we talk about sauces.
Torey never said it was spicy though.
He made the direct comparison that it is when he was talking about the sauces, he says he's like, oh, Polynesian sauce, best way I could say to describe it is it's a General Tso's sauce.
Yes. I think that's pretty accurate.
And you're saying because it's not spicy.
Because General Tso's is not spicy. That's what I'm saying, dude.
Are we still looking at this through the lens of someone who's across the world?
You're saying spicy, but he never said spicy. He's saying it's like General Tso's, which I think is accurate.
I see.
You're the one you're interpreting spicy into that. That's the problem. And I just think, like, if you get the ones with the big pieces of red pepper in there, yeah, it can be spicy. 99% of Chinese takeout is not spicy in General Tso's. Like,
that's the definition.
I'll buy you some fucking General Tso's and I'll give it to you. You can tell me that shit's spicy. It's fucking not.
Yeah, right. Especially the Chinese buffet. Like,
now, it might be spicier than Polynesian sauce. I haven't had Polynesian enough recently to know for sure, but General Tso's is not spicy.
I had Chick-fil-A today, as a matter of fact.
You had Polynesian sauce?
No. I actually had the smoky sauce.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
you took the bottle.
Right? Yeah.
So you had the bottle? Or you got more?
They gave us the packs.
They gave it to you.
Two packs, mind you.
That was it.
Yeah. So, because I had of course, a number one with a Dr. Pepper, my favorite. And you got 2 packs. So, one for fries, one for sandwich. I know that was a question.
Need more water, or can we get back in?
That wasn't. No, we're
okay. As always, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.